Hello YouTube! Welcome back to another Sessions with Steph. Today I'm talking about styling tools and styling products. What you need to know and what education you should be getting from your stylist. So let's start with the basics. Of course, before you blow dry, always put a thermal defense in there, which Eufora has a great one. The thermal defense prep being the key word. This is something you put in before a blow dry. So if you're blow drying your hair, you need to have that thermal defense in it. Now when we get into blow dryers, I'm going to pull mine from over here. I personally am using a U-Smooth right now, and I absolutely love it, but I have also used the Babyliss and the Rusk line, and I do love those. Make sure that you're talking to your stylist about whether or not the ones you're getting are a good quality, a high grade quality. I feel as though right now, especially, you have a lot of people that are putting things out there that they're trying to promote as the same quality, but quality is everything when it comes to your tools, because a bad blow dryer can burn your hair, just like a bad flat iron can burn your hair, and it can cause some serious damage, which you don't want that to happen. We don't want that to happen. So along with using good product, you also need to be sure that your arsenal is filled with great tools. I love my U-Smooth. It's light in weight. I believe it's 2 pounds, maybe, might be less than that. I prefer to have sleek looking tools, so all of my tools are usually black or like a silver. So my curling iron, of course, is not, I use a hot tools curling iron. It's a Marcel though, it's not the clamp one. It rolls in my hand. I can't use the older ones anymore. I don't know why. I just am not coordinated with those anymore. So my U-Smooth blow dryer I love because it has some great features to it, and I'll show you. You have this lovely button, which is for your ions, and you can go positive or you can go negative depending on what you're looking for. Now my positive, I usually have it on that because when you're coming in for a blow dry or a haircut and you want a good blow dry, you want more of that volume in your hair. So when I am blow drying, I hit the positive so that I can put the volume in, and then when I am starting to just get into the finish, I switch it to the negative to put the smoothing on the ends, which is really great. Now, along with my U-Smooth blow dryer, I use my Eufora brush, which is really great. I have all of the sizes. I do like the surface area on this one. It has a very good grip, and I feel that the hair does not get caught. I use this on myself as well when I'm doing my blow dries. I also do like the Ergo brushes, which are the same. They're just a little longer here, so you have a little bit more surface area. But these are really great because they have a really good plating to them. So when I'm using this, and just a heads up, I'm trying to post some videos I've done on blow dries. I take my blow dryer and simply put it over my brush. I never ever, it's more like this. I let the heat go through the bristles and pull this way, or whichever way I'm going, so that I actually smooth it out. If you're ever doing this, not only will you ruin your blow dryer, but you will also ruin your hair. Think of it like rope. When you put a lighter to rope, right, if it's stretched out, you can see it unravel. Same concept when you're blow drying. If you're doing this, your hair is gonna fry off. It's going to burn, even if you're moving this brush. So always try to angle it as much as you possibly can. When you're doing your own hair, it can sometimes be hard, but sometimes keeping the hair more taut and just taking the blow dryer and going over is better than actually putting blow dryer to brush. So things to invest in, things to look for. Make sure when you're buying round brushes that they have good plating on them, so that you're not using something that's going to overheat and again burn off hair, fry hair, damage hair. That's something that we don't want. A good blow dryer, a good brush, that's, you know, the basics. Again, I always go back to foundations. Your shampoo and conditioner foundation, your blow dryer and your brush are foundation. You can also find wet brushes that are vented now that you can use to blow dry with, which are really great as well. But same concept, you're not going to go in there and put the blow dryer to the brush. It also ruins your blow dryer because that heat goes back in, overheating your coil and burning your blow dryer out faster. And you want longevity from these guys. Blow dryers are not inexpensive, okay? They are a big investment. They're a big investment, and You don't want to have to buy a new one in 6 months or a year. You want it to last at least 18 months. And with U-Smooth, you definitely get that. As a stylist, having been using it for a while now, I can tell you, like, I don't have any trouble with this blow dryer. I have another friend who has actually used it, and she said she had hers for almost 2 years. So that to me is amazing. Invest in that. Invest in a good blow dryer, and we're going to get into the next phase. So as I said, I use Hot Tools for my curling iron, and I really love it. I do. So Hot Tools is a brand I highly recommend. I now use U-Smooth though for my flat iron, which I really love this. I have the 2-inch one, but I like it because, one, I'm not pulling these out of the box, guys. They're brand new, but you can see on the box, you have, this is where your heat would show and how hot it is. Over here are your plus and minus. Your minus is your power button, and it has a swivel cord. So your cord doesn't get wrapped up, it doesn't get too twisted. It's really great to use. I lost my train of thought. The plates on my flat iron are beveled, which is really great because it helps to not snag hair, which is a huge thing, right? You buy a flat iron, you think, oh, this is gonna be great. And then you use it, and after at first it is, a flat iron right out of the box is always great. After a few uses though, you start to notice it's snagging the hair, and the plates are pulling, you flat iron, and then you see a few of your hairs on there, and you're like, what happened? Well, you want to look and pay attention to the plates and how they're, put on there, how they are, if they're beveled, if they're not beveled, are there any openings that you need to worry about, things like that. So this is a 1-inch flat iron, which is also great if you're going to do curls or beach waves. I do love it. Again, I really love that you can see your heat setting. This can go up to 450. You should never have to use 450. It starts off at 360, and I actually lower the heat depending on the hair. So if you're not sure about your flat iron, or if you should even use one, or if you need one, always talk to your stylist about it. And remember, not everybody is going to need the same kind of flat iron or the same structure of flat irons, the same qualities, because hair is different. My hair's super straight, so I'm pretty lucky. I could use just about any flat iron and it'd work on me because my hair is already straight. However, I do prefer to use something that's not going to snag my hair, because that does happen. With my hair being color treated, I don't want to fry off my hair. I don't want to overheat it. This actually helps me to know. Any tool you get, you should always make sure that you can see the heat setting on it and know how hot it's actually going to get. Now, before I would use a flat iron, the one thing I would go for is this guy. Our Retain, which is a heat styling spray. You are going to mist this through your hair. And the cool thing about Retain is it's for dry hair. It is not for wet hair. So when I first learned about Retain, it was something that it came in a package for me, and I was using it before my blow dries, and I was using it wrong. So another thing to talk to your stylist about, how to use your product. And my great friend Amber showed me how I was using it wrong and showed me the benefits and what it actually does. So it was a really neat little trick, as I like to call it. She sprayed it on my hand. Mine and my husband's, actually, because he was here with me. And then she told me I had to raise my sleeve. She was all, watch this. She let it dry. She took my U-Smooth blow dryer. She hit my arm with the blow dryer, right? And of course on my arm I can feel the heat. And then she did it to my hand where the Retain had been sitting. And I couldn't feel the heat. I could feel air hitting me, but I couldn't feel the heat. So the beauty of that is that the quinoa actually helps to protect your hair. Even when you use the heat on your hair, you're not going to feel that heat right away. When I curl my hair and I use my Retain, it throws me off just a bit because I can't feel the curl get hot, so I don't think it's curling. And sometimes I take off my curling iron too soon when I want a little bit more boing. So be aware of that, but Retain is awesome. If you haven't tried it, oh my gosh, try it. You'll love it. It's a godsend. So another great thing to use, again, I'm going to go back to a wet brush because I didn't talk about this, but wet brushes are awesome, and you really need these. Make sure that they're actual wet brushes, that they're coming from the Wet Brush brand. Those are the best ones and have the best quality. Don't get me wrong, I have bought the cheaper ones for my kids because I just needed to grab one. And the quality on those is not as great. You lose these bristles a lot faster. The little balls on the end of the bristles come off a lot quicker, and you can start to see it, and that's never fun. You want to buy good products so that you have the quality that you need for the jobs that you're doing with your hair or your kids' hair. My kids also have a bad habit, and why I bought the cheaper one, of leaving the brush on the floor, and I have a Shih Tzu, and he likes to brush his hair with a wet brush, so he got his own wet brush, and he's a very happy camper because he brushes his hair every day for mama. So, important things. The reason I brought up the brush, though, is because you also need to purchase yourself some cleaner for your brush. I have this one in my bottle right now. I soak my brushes, but this is in here because I use this to clean everything in my salon. So, make sure you're letting them sit for a good 10 minutes. Barbicide or any other cleaner for brushes or surfaces has to sit, guys. It is medical grade for a reason, and even in hospitals we would let things sit so that it would actually kill germs on the surface area. So it's very important. There are times where, and I will show you, I will take my brush and I will spray it and I will let it sit. This is an in-between that I do with soakings. If I have to use this brush, you know, something came up and I just feel like, oh my gosh, it needs to be clean, I don't wipe this down. I let it sit for the 10 and then I wipe it with the cloth. So things you can do. I also do that with my round brushes, but I do soak my brushes every night and then clean them and do all the good stuff. But in between, I am going to spray them down and make sure that they are disinfected. And you should be doing the same. Even though it's only you using it, remember that these things should be cleaned out because bacteria can live in anything, germs can live in anything. You really want to be sure that you're cleaning your brushes and you get better quality of them when you do. Now, U-Smooth also has the Infinity Styling Iron. This thing is super awesome. So, again, you can see the temperatures. This one's different because it does not have the same as the regular flat iron, the U-Smooth flat iron. So you have an on button here, but you can see the temperatures here. So as you click it, it will go. Now, again, I don't believe, this goes to 430. I don't believe you need 430. The lowest it goes to is 320, which I can understand because you don't use this as like a flat iron. This you slip hair through and then work it through that. So it's very different because it doesn't have the same kind of clamp capability. It's more for those waves and curls, things like that. You can still smooth it. You can. I've done it, but it's definitely a really good investment if you're somebody who tends to like to play a little bit more. Again, you have those beveled plates that are really awesome. These are titanium, which I love because it's just smooth across the hair. It's like butter. It's like butter. And this will also turn off on their own. So if you're the type of person, I don't know anyone like this, who leaves flat irons on because you rushed out the door and you weren't thinking, this will save your house or your apartment or whatever it is from burning down, which is really awesome safety feature. And safety features are a big thing because I have seen many a disaster from a heating element that went wrong. I may or may not have put a blanket over a heater when I was a kid. Maybe. I don't know. Just kidding. I know what I did. So things to invest in. Also clips, guys. Clips and combs. Clips and combs. And I'm going to pull out my little arsenal here. I love having a comb like this. As I'm flat ironing, I will use something like this to go through. Now you can use a regular comb, but the reason I like this is because my flat iron is probably about this wide as it is. So I'm not using anything that won't just follow the hair, right? And it's just that hair. So everything stays where it needs to stay. When you use a wider comb, or like a normal comb, a cutting comb as I would call it, you're gonna have all of that surface area. Whereas if you're using something more like this, and this is our Eufora comb, it's a carbon comb, you can just comb through and you're keeping that surface area where it needs to be. I also will sometimes use my rat tail comb, another Eufora comb, and I love these. I tease hair, and every now and then this will be my go-to, mainly because it's always on my tray, but usually what I like this for is when I'm doing, like when I need a section, especially if I'm taking smaller sections, when I'm doing my curls, things like that. I can use it to section, comb through, and then do that. And of course, my clip, which is also Eufora. But these clips are great. Shark clips, I think, is what a lot of people call them. These are for thicker hair, and what I love is that it'll really hold the hair. So even if I'm pulling that small amount, it's gonna hold it. If I pull all my hair together, and let's give an example here. If I pull all this hair together, and forgive the bumpiness, and just put it this way, bam. And you can see, like, it's got it. It's got all that hair in there. Now, mine I tend to do a bit looser because I usually use my hot tool after a blow dry and I don't want to get that crimp in there. However, you can make it as tight as you need to and you'll get a good hold from this. You can also buy some that are a bit flatter if you need to, so that if you're just holding little sections in the front, you're not using a big, huge clip to do it. I love my Eufora ones. Always look at production because you do have some that don't have as great a production, and here, you know, you'll have things that stick out that the hair gets caught on the inside. If the spring is too visible, your hair can get caught on that as well. And you're not always necessarily paying attention to how you're putting that hair in a clip. You're just trying to get it out of the way so you can get started. So clips are super important. Now the point of this one is I went over product last time and what's in your product. What's in your tools? What are you using? Are your heat elements great? Are they controllable? Do you know what kind of plates they're using on your flat irons? Do you know if it's ceramic, if it's titanium? Like, what is it that's going on to your hair when you're putting that heat to it? Now, I always advise that you try to do a blow dry and smooth out your hair before you necessarily go into a hot tool. But if that's not possible for you, or if you're the type that likes to air dry, which I love, then make sure that you are using a good quality tool. Like I said, U-Smooth is great. It's what I use here in the salon, and I absolutely love it. I use hot tools for my curling iron, and of course, I always recommend that you use great product. If you're air drying, Retain is still your best friend because you can use that to put the heat on your hair after. If you're not, you're going to use the Thermal Defense Prep as well as the Retain to give the results you want and give good thermal protection. So look into that. Talk to your stylist about it. You know, it's a new year and we need to start better habits, so why not start with what's in your product and what's in your tools. Are they good heating elements? Are they going to cause damage, excess damage to the hair? Are they going to give you the result you want? Pay attention to those things, really research things, and make sure you're buying the best quality you possibly can. I understand that some of these are expensive. In my opinion, I wouldn't go for a $400 blow dryer before I would say, hey, you know what, let me make sure I have a good blow dryer and a good flat iron and maybe a system that comes together, as opposed to saying, let me just spend $400 on a blow dryer and then use a really bad flat iron because I bought it at Walmart or Target or HEB and it was cheap, but it'll get the job done. You don't want to get the job done bad, you want to get the job done right. So you don't want to make those kind of mistakes. Really important to look into that. Invest in yourself. Talk to a stylist about it. If you don't have a stylist, look for one. Any stylist that you can possibly find right now to get in their chair, to have a conversation with, do a consultation, see what they offer. Get a blow dry from somebody and see, hey, is this person going to fit for me? And is she going to, he or she going to educate me on what I want to know? Are they going to tell me this is the best product for you to use and why? Are they going to tell me these are the best tools for you to use and why? And put it all out there. Just say, look, I need you to be real with me and I need you to let me know, like, I want to invest in myself and in my hair. That's where we got to get started, right? We got to get started with our crown that lives on our head, because we wear it every day. It's not something that you can just say, oh man, I mean, unless you wear wigs, which awesome. Like, I want to wear a wig, but I have too much hair, it gets hot. You know, you want to be sure that your hair is exactly what you want it to be. And I would recommend that we start with the little things. What's in your product? Know what's in it. Like I said, guys, and I just saw this again on Facebook, you have people out there who are promoting things that are false. They are lying to you. There are lawsuits happening for hair loss. Start talking to your stylist. Find yourself a stylist. Get in someone's chair. I get it. The reason I tell you to get a blow dry first, don't let someone cut your hair if you're super picky and they're not going to do what you want to do, okay? We need to start paying attention to what consumers want. I 100% agree. I've been in the service industry for a very long time, And I believe that it has to be about you. So find a stylist that believes the same thing. Find them, stick to them, love them. They will take care of you. They will be there for you. They will educate you, and they will give you all they possibly can behind the chair. And some will give you more than that. So look for those people, educate yourselves on these things, research your products, research your styling tools. Don't just fall for the sales gag. I was someone who was in sales, and I'll tell you this. I didn't like to have a pitch. It wasn't my thing. I just told the truth. If I was going to sell something, I was going to use it. And if I wasn't using it, I wasn't going to sell it, okay? I worked at Champs for a very long time, in my opinion. And I sold insoles not because I just was trying to make a sale, but because you need them, right? You're buying a shoe. It really only lasts you 3 months with the insole that's in it. And the insole that's in it is about as thick as my fingernail with dip on it, okay? That's about it. You're not getting a whole lot out of that. But if you purchase an insole, you're giving your shoe longevity, and you're also helping your body. Shout out to Spenco. I still use Spenco insoles because it takes the pressure off my hips, my knees, and my back. Absolutely love them. Way to go, Spenco, for having a customer for life. So research your things, look into it, get it done. And if you have questions, don't hesitate to comment. I'm going to leave my contact info at the end. And if you're looking for product, if you're looking for styling tools, I do have a website that I will leave the link in the description below so that you can go to it, check some stuff out. And again, my contact info will be there if you need to reach me. So I'm so excited to be educating and to be giving you guys some good feedback. And I just pray that you guys are doing well. God bless, and I will talk to you soon. I'm about to do a weird pose just for my thumbnail. Okay? Don't judge. Bye.